Ah, thank you, Fräulein.
She puts it down on the table, she bows shortly, and takes off again to see to the rest of your breakfast.
I point my attention to the soldier and ask him, so, how long have you been in service in this place?
In this place, Herr Professor, I think now it is 2 months.
And what are the atrocities that you have witnessed so far?
No atrocities, Herr Professor.
Consider yourself lucky then.
He doesn't really respond to that. And you notice that every time you talk to him, he straightens his back and looks like very disciplined. Like you're some sort of commanding officer talking to him. Yes, and after that they bring you like a basket with bread and some small bread rolls, or as they say here in Belgium, pistolets, and some jam and some cheese and things like that. Oh yes, and some meat, like some ham and what have you.
Oh no, my rifle is jammed.
Aha. That would be funny in the right situation.
I know. So yes, I wait for a moment. I look at the soldier and I ask him, "Are you hungry?"
And he of course straightens his back again. No, Herr Professor, I have already eaten. Oh, and by the way, the maid keeps standing there near the pot of coffee in case you want more.
Even though I take out a pistolet and throw it over to the soldier.
You throw it at him?
In a friendly way.
He catches it and he says, I am sorry, Herr Professor, I must attend to my duties, and he puts it back on the table.
It seems he does not understand my message.
Well, he's had orders, and he cannot get distracted. You know how Hauptmann Kratz is. Well, you don't really know him that well, but he does seem like a very stern and man who demands a lot of discipline.
Yes, I take my coffee, I stand up and walk over to a window if that is possible.
Yes, there are windows there. Most of them are barred though.
And I just look outside.
Alright.
Enjoying my coffee.
And shortly thereafter, when you're done with your breakfast, you notice another soldier coming up to your guard and speaking to him. Shortly thereafter, the soldier leaves again, and then the guard says to you, Herr Professor, you have been asked by Dr. von Kammerstein to join him in his lab.
Of course.
Dun dun dun.
And
Yes.
I follow the soldier.
Yes. You are taken back to, as before, the lab. Still in, but this time another room though. You're taken to a more scholarly looking room that's lying full of papers and some drawings on the blackboard and things like that. It's still quite a ghastly surrounding, but it's not quite as bad as what you've witnessed the night before. And you see Dr. von Kammerstein busy looking over some papers, and when he sees you, he looks very pleased. And he says, Professor, please join me, there's still a lot of work to be done, yes.
Yes, of course.
So,
And
what do you think of my notes? Have you come up with something yet?
To be honest, I had more trouble deciphering your handwriting than actually be able to read.
Well, perhaps I can help you. What parts do you have trouble with?
Oh, about 90% of your book.
Alright, so yes, you indeed start discussing theories and whatnot together, and you're still bothered, but you're feeling a little bit better, but you're still bothered by your headache. It's because you haven't been able to get some proper sleep, honestly. But yes, the doctor does not seem to notice that you are feeling tired. In any case, would you like to help him out with his research and give it some honest thought?
Yes, that is why I'm here.
Yes? Alright. Give me a knowledge occult roll.
Yes, here I go then. And roll.
Oh,
ace.
there we go. Yes, indeed. Wow.
That is a 14.
-2 from your fatigue, that's a 12. That is quite high. Now that you discuss everything with the doctor, and he puts some of his scribblings into context, and what actually he read from this book he keeps talking about, that has been stolen from him, that he keeps stressing. This reminds you of something, some stories you've heard in the Orient. Actually, in Tibet, there's some local legends there about creatures they call Rolangs, which are kind of like, yes, Walking Dead. It's very similar to what the doctor seems to be doing here. It's you thought it was just all superstition and things like that, but now that you've seen all of this, you're starting to think of there's maybe some truth in those stories. But when you think about how the story went, it was always either a spirit who it was like an evil spirit who possessed a corpse, or some sort of evil sorcerer who created these Rolangs to do their bidding, which reminds you of what the doctor is doing here. And then you start thinking, what if he's going about it completely the wrong way? He's looking at it from a scientific point of view. He sees this whole ritual as some sort of scientific procedure. Perhaps he's just doing it wrong because he has completely the wrong point of view. If you had a chance to look at the original material, this book he keeps blabbering on about, then perhaps you could figure out how to do the ritual correctly. Because you think he's going about it completely the wrong way. So yes, you had some insight.
Yes, very fascinating. And I rely all of that to him.
Yes. Oh, and I forgot to mention, of course, you've heard some similar stories in Africa as well.
Ah, yes.
The entire and yes, in that the voodoo related religion have also similar stories.
Indeed.
So yes, you share that information with him.
I share everything I know.
He's like, nonsense, my friend. This is science. I'm trying to create a super soldier.
Yes, I see. I understand.
So you're getting the feeling he doesn't quite believe you that this is real magic, so to speak. How do you react to this?
I just let him be.
Oh, yes. But then if you keep it, then in that case he gets the feeling you're of no use to him. You have the feeling you have to at least put up a facade of being useful. Because if your usefulness runs out, who knows what might happen. Understand?
My dear doctor, it seems that you are stuck, and I'm trying to give you a fresh perspective, but it seems that you are not willing to accept
Yes, but
any other
you keep
options.
talking about this. I know the occult has a lot of mysteries in it that could be useful to our work, but what you are talking about is just stories about evil sorcerers who bring the dead back to life to do their bidding. This is not what we are doing here. To you it seems very similar, but clearly he doesn't see it that way.
I must admit that a couple of years ago, when I was working with you, I thought all of this, what you did yesterday, was just fantasy, but yet you did it.
Do you try to convince him to see things your way?
Yes?
Give me persuasion roll then.
Persuasion. Oh dear lord, I'm going evil. Not even noticing it. Let's roll.
Oh dear.
That's a 3. I don't think he will be persuaded.
No, he seems to be set in his ways, and he seems to be getting quite frustrated with what you're trying to tell him. Oh dear. Also, you're feeling very tired.
Mm-hmm.
How would you like to proceed?
I try to help him as much as possible.
Yes, but you're getting a feeling you're losing his favor for the moment.
Uh-huh.
Oh dear.
Then, if you would excuse me, Herr Kammerstein, and I would like to go to your library to do some more investigation.
Yes, very well. Perhaps you need to be more educated to be of any service to me. And he snaps his fingers, and one of his assistants comes, and he says, "You guide the professor to my library. Assist him in any way you can. Be gone with you." Yes, of course, Professor, Doctor. Right. So yes, he accompanies you to another room which has a small, mainly scientifically themed library. All sorts of writings in it with various subjects related to biology, medicine, and what have you. And of course, other fields of science like chemistry and physics. But yes, not your kind of library. But still, you could do some research.
I turn over to the soldier and I ask him, "Is Herr Kammerstein the only one that is allowed inside this room?"
Wait. Are you talking to the assistant or the soldier? Because you have two now.
I have two. An assistant. Good. That was what I was hoping for.
Yes, indeed. Kammerstein told one of his assistants to accompany you.
All right. I turn to the assistant and I ask him, "All right, give me every information that Herr Kammerstein has gathered so far and everything about his..." Yes, everything.
After some waiting, you receive a big bundle of hefty-looking books. Oh dear. What haven't you gotten yourself into?
I feel my mind running amok.
So, are you planning on studying to get a better, to see things from his point of view?
I also ask the assistant what Kammerstein finds interesting and what he has discarded.
Yes. All right, very good. He will assist you with that. Give me an investigation roll. That's what investigation in this game is for.
Yes, I didn't saw my investigation at the first point, but still.
It's pretty high.
A 4. That's a 2. Oh man.
Luckily for you, you're in the middle of a library. It's actually that's only a 2, even with the assistant. You can't concentrate. You're just this blasted headache. It's no good.
Merde. No way, that's French.
Indeed. What will you do?
Alright. I asked the assistant if he has something for my headache.
Yes, oh, dear, I haven't looked at... Have they invented aspirin yet in the 30s?
Ask it down.
Well, why don't can somebody look it up quickly on Wikipedia or something? Because I have no idea.
When invented?
I think they should have something for headaches, but I have no idea what. Anyone?
Working on it.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
No one with a high ranks in Google Foo?
Yes, it seems blah 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 blah.
1853.
Yes.
1853?
Yes, so that's around for 90 years.
Really? The tablets, like we know them, that you put in some water, that existed back then?
In 1897, chemist at Bayer AG produced yada yada. I think they made the pills as
Yes, 1897.
So they exist already. Alright, and he gets you some aspirin. And he
Ooh,
also tells you, yes, he seems to be a little less insane than the doctor, although he looks quite traumatized as well. He says, if you are not feeling well, Professor, perhaps you should get some rest. He says,
yes,
while he
perhaps I
hands you
should.
some dissolved aspirin with water.
or you
Yes, perhaps I should.
I think it would be wisest if you first talk about this with the doctor from Kammerstein.
Mm-hmm. So I return to Kammerstein's laboratory,
Yes,
probably, or where he is right now,
yes.
and I tell him my predicament. Your book was so interesting last night that I barely slept, so I can't think straight today.
Oh dear, give me another persuasion roll.
I do not believe you. You are mocking me. Oh, that's a 3.
A tree. Luckily for you, you used the right angle. You flattered him a little bit. Because it was his brilliant writing.
That kept me up all night, yes?
And because of that, I'm giving you a slight bonus and you barely make it. He seems to be annoyed because you're not able to help him, and he's very impatient. He wants to get his work done, and he says, "All right, I understand. Go get a couple of hours of rest, and then I expect you to be back here and ready to assist me. Yes?"
Agreed.
Very good. I see you later then. And he gestures you, yes, to take you away to the soldier.
Mm-hmm.
And the soldier does so. He returns you to your quarters.
And I get some shut-eye.
Yes, indeed. And with that, I think we are going to return to the military types.
Yes.
Ah, yes. Putting on headset. Right, let's see how badly we fail at rescue.
Start.
But first a roll.
Yes, start.
First a roll call. Nico, are you present? Richard, are you here?
Yeah.
Excellent. 2 out of 3.
Very good.
Now, how badly are we failing?
I don't know. Give me a stealth roll and I'll tell you. Only you.
Only you can fail badly.
Yes.
6.
It will do. You did not get noticed.
I will keep my hand above the binoculars to make sure that the sun does not
Yes, indeed.
make it light up.
Actually, you bring up a good point. It is starting to get quite warm. It's warmer than yesterday. It's still morning, but you're starting to get the feeling it's going to become a real sunny summer day.
Oh dear.
And that's
will
not an
require-
ideal situation to do a stealth mission in if you're sweating all the time.
No, indeed. I'm thinking of more of one problem. However, considering it's still morning, I think how long can I hold out in this heat?
Oh, you're still fine. You're covered with all sorts of. You're covered by the trees and the overgrowth, and you're in the shade. But still, I'm just warning you that you think it's going to be a hot day. Anyway, give me a notice roll. Let's see what you notice.
What was my notice? Oh yes, exactly the same. I do like building characters that are very simple to play. A6.
Yes. You see in the distance Castle Karlstein, which is very heavily patrolled and protected.
Well, I'll just time the patrols and see how much time we have between patrols, for
Let's
instance.
see.
And just
From the angle you are, you actually can see the front of the castle. How convenient.
jolly good.
Yes.
If this was Exalted Fate, I would say I would like to create an advantage right now.
What would you like to do?
As I said, study the way that the castle is protected. And
You study the patterns of the patrolling guards, correct?
yes, indeed, timing them and see how much of a window we have between patrols.
Yes. You notice that now and then a vehicle passes by the gates.
Of course, I would look down and see what kind of entry protocol they have, how
indeed.
deeply they search the vehicles.
When it's all military vehicles, so they just need to you think, because you can't see what they're saying, that they just need to identify themselves, and they're and sometimes in case if it's a truck, they'll like open the back to see what's inside before they let them in. But if it's a military vehicle like a jeep, for instance, they just need to identify themselves and then they let them through.
As suddenly a desperate plan springs to mind.
Interesting. But meanwhile, something happens at the camp.
Oh dear! Are the tyrant lizards attacking?
Not quite. The doctor and the special agent may give me a notice roll.
I think we can use half tracks.
That's
to our
Richard and
advantage.
Nico, in case you fall asleep.
Well, I'm pretty sure Richard is listening in because I hear his fan. And Nico probably has popped off to the shops as he said he would.
Oh yes, but why hasn't he told us then? In any case, roll notice. Now!
He is one of those overly polite people, you know, like
Roll
the
or
British.
die! Richard,
Come on.
why are you not
Don't
rolling
roll.
notice?
Sorry. I'm having a little trouble here. Give me a moment.
Alright, trouble.
Alright. Where is it? There we go, finally. Okay. So, roll notice, right? The app
Yes.
wasn't really wanting to respond.
I see.
Huh. That's
A
Nice
5.
that will become a 3 because of the wounds.
Yes. Actually, you hear it when it's too late. You hear rustling right now, a few feet in front of you. What do? There's somebody coming through the bushes.
Garrote wire, ready action as soon as a head pops up. If I don't recognize it right away, I'm getting ready to pounce.
Alright. Luckily for you, it's the young man from before. He looks very frightened when he sees that you're about to attack him.
The second I see him, it's just you. Put it away. And he looks disappointed.
We're going to traumatize him.
and then he says, to the doctor, of course. I have good news. We have managed to contact Father Andre, and he seems to be interested in well, when we told him why you were here, he seemed to be interested in meeting you, and we set up a meeting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I will guide you. I will guide you there once the time is right. So yes, that's what you learn.
Doctor?
Yes, Nico doesn't seem to be here at the moment. I just assume he translates.
Yeah, okay.
So that's what you
Very
learn.
well.
You've set up a meeting with Father Andre.
Good.
Alright, awesome.
Yes, indeed. And meanwhile, I guess the captain has learned what he needs to learn, or what?
Yes, once the captain has learned all that he needs to, the route and whatnot, and then he will return to camp.
Yes. And
Without making... Yes?
when you arrive there, you are greeted with some good news. The young man has left again, but I assume your comrades will inform you.
Yep.
So would I.
And
So-
what I do is I set up a little trap of bramble and thorns and a nice sharp wooden piece that would hit anybody who rustles in that bush.
Yes, that bush
And
is
I'm
starting to
keeping
become a
an eye.
problem.
I'm keeping an eye on our surroundings now, watching very closely. I will see the kid before he shows up this time.
And then ward him off the trap in the bush?
No, I'm just going to pull him around the trap.
Okay, just checking. Now, he said at 1 o'clock. Right,
You
he
still have
probably
a
gave
few
us-
hours. Literally a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
I presume that he has given us a place to meet.
No, he said he would come and take you there.
Ah, well, a couple of hours. In that case, I'll draw out a map of the castle and explain how it is guarded. Should something befall to me, which it will never happen, the rest of the team will still have my information, which is a good thing.
Yes.
And then I asked the security agent what way he would enter this facility.
Yes, and I want to stress you've seen the front.
Yes,
Right.
only the front.
Yes, because
That will be the main gate, and
you
maybe
could have scouted out the rest of the castle, but then you would have then your scouting mission would have taken hours.
indeed.
Alright. Then how often did the patrols cross?
Keeper?
Oh, you mean the patrols surrounding the castle?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
What's our window of opportunity?
It's actually, you think the front is impregnable. Unless you come
I'm
up with a
not
cunning
asking
plan,
about
because
the front.
not just because of the patrols, but you're pretty certain there's a gun emplacement right above the gates, for starters.
I'm not asking about the front. I'm asking how often the patrols...
Because the patrols in the front the pattern of the patrols in the front would match the patrols in the back.
I have no
More or
idea
less.
how long it takes to move around the castle at a normal walking rate.
Okay.
Let's just say
I-
you have a vague idea.